Hi everyone, I'm Mark with Artisan Restoration, and this video is to show the buyer of this barn how we're going to deal with the decay and some problems that we've come across, as well as anybody else who might be considering a barn restoration project using a 100-and-some-year-old hand-hewn structure. Well, these timbers here are a mixture of members that came out of the upper part of the structure, which is really all we're going to use. And I took the effort to remove timbers out of the floor system so we can use them for replacements in the upper part. These here that are labeled FB are floor beams, so they won't be used in the structures, and we can use those. I've never seen a doubled tenon like that on something before. That's pretty unusual. And all that, although the timber is really in good condition, it's a lot bigger than the than the other ones. So we'll have to cut that down and figure out how to hide the cut faces in the new build. These are the basically I call them tie beams. They run from the one side of the barn to the other side and support the roof and tie the walls together. So some of them have a bad bow in them, like that guy, and that might be usable if we can cut it and support it on a post. There's interior posts in these buildings, and I think this is the one vent that has only one center support. The other ones have got two of them in the middle of the building, so we could cut it and straighten it out over a support. But what else? We've separated our piles into each of the vents, and there's 8 vents in this structure. 4 vents in the original 30 by 40 barn, and then there's 2 20 by 30 additions added onto it, and they used double posts on the common walls between these additions, and they will not be necessary in the build. So we're separating them into each of the vents, numbered 1 through 8, and a couple of them will be eliminated. These timbers here didn't get tagged very well, and these didn't get tagged very well either. So I'm going to have the job of going through there and figuring out which ones we need and which ones we will not need. These are a lot of members from the roof structure, and in some cases they were actually in the walls between each post. This pile over here, for example, comes from the third vent. That would be in the original 30 by 40 part of the barn, and some of the tendons are broken off on the end, and there is a way that I can replace those if we don't have another replacement for them. Over here we've got the reject pile, and these are beyond use, and I'm not really certain how much of this damage and decay has occurred in the last 100 years and how much of it's occurred since the building was brought over here, but there's only a few pieces here that we could possibly use and get a little bit of good material out of there. So I'll do a full inventory of these timbers when I get back from Wisconsin. This is from bent number 1, and these are they're a little damp yet, and they really have a nice gold color to them. This one here, this was a support for the roof, and it looks in pretty good condition, but again, the tenon down there is not in good condition, but we can eliminate the need for it by using some metal fasteners instead of trying to use all wooden pegs like they did to begin with. And you'll see we had these peg holes weren't drilled all the way through a lot of the timbers, and we had to drill some of them out, and you can see where we drilled off the side of one of them there and ended up with 2 holes. But again, we'll be using some fasteners in the new in the new build, so we can hide those and actually install a dowel or something so it looks like they're still pegged together. These are members from the old roof, which was only built with using 2x4 rafters, and most of them are 2 bowed because they should have been 2x6s. But anyway, we got another pile of short rafters over there, but none of the roof system or rafters are really going to be used, so they can be repurposed for something else later. And this is for this one here is marked TPN. That's the top plate on the north side, the 4th bent. And these other ones I think have got tags on them too, so I've got to separate the bent material and the plate material. And there's one other timber that's going to be in the center of the structure that we call the midroof support beam. So we'll inventory all those, come up with a plan to repurpose some of them into the structure and replace some others. And anyhow, I don't know if that makes sense to all of you or not, but I'm hoping it does to one person. Thanks for watching.